Hello, I'm Liselle Sambury, a soon-to-be published author, and welcome to the vlog. And this is all about working on my adult horror called 6 Days and 5 Nights. I wrote the entire first draft in April of Camp NaNoWriMo. If you want to check out that playlist, it's over here. You can watch the whole thing. And the way that things ended was that I was dissatisfied with what I had created, to say the least. And the longer I was dissatisfied, the more it turned into just hate. And I just hated the book, hated it so much. Why did I hate it? I can't even like really talk in past tense because I do still hate it. It's just now I'm more hopeful about how I'm going to fix things, which I'll talk about in a bit. But I do hate it. This is why. It's just so, I don't even know if contrived is the word, but just basic. It feels like a basic bitch manuscript. Like it's not good. It's not good. It's not. And it's not good in the way that like all first drafts are not good. It's a bad story. It's crappy. And I think this comes from a multitude of reasons, not just the fact that like I don't usually write adult and that I'm writing in third person, which I also don't usually do, and I'm doing dual POV, which I also don't usually do, which do contribute, but I think those are all things that I could finesse and I could make better. But I feel like the core of this story is bad. It's just bad. And really I think where this has come from is that I rushed this story. So Camp NaNoWriMo was coming and I wanted to work on my adult horror for camp, and I hadn't yet had enough time to think of a good idea. So, because originally I had an adult horror idea, but then I adapted it into young adult instead. And so I've already worked on that book. That's Bear Hunt, which I've talked about. I have a video all about my book plans, but that's what I have planned as my 2024 horror, assuming my proposal gets approved. And so then I didn't have an adult horror idea and I had to think of one very quickly. And usually how I do my ideas is I have an idea, but it marinates in my head for like weeks, for months. I get pumped up about it. I'm in my notes app writing little scenes and stuff like that. And that in my head process is long. Like it spans, like sits there for a really long while. And so I have a lot of time to mentally work out the details of what I want that story to look like. But in this case, I did all of that very fast, basically simultaneously to me plotting. And I like thought of the idea of like doppelgangers, which is a thing in the book. That's why I use Jordan Peele's Us as a comp. I thought of that like 2 days before NaNoWriMo was supposed to start, something like that. And I just did a really bad job plotting. Like the plotting baseline, the story was bad. So it didn't matter that I plotted it well, it's just at its core, it's a shitty story. And so then I just wrote that. I also, usually what I do with my books is I write a full synopsis. And because I write the full synopsis, it gives me time to figure out if the story is shit. Because the synopsis, I'm basically just verbatim writing everything that happens in the story, and it usually ends up being like 10,000, 15,000 words. So during the process of that, I will kind of figure out if something seems bad or not. And I didn't do that for this book because I was in a rush to be ready for Camp NaNoWriMo. And so I just like finished and I looked back at what I had and it's just crap. So this is where I was thinking that I was going to scrap this entire project. I was just going to throw it in the garbage, the like digital garbage, and just forget about it and just start over with something brand new. That was my feeling. And so I was talking to one of my CPs about hating the book, and they were like, come on, like, why do you hate it, and blah, blah, blah. And I talked about it, and I just felt like the way I'd done the doppelganger thing was just so boring and uninteresting and like not cool and like just bad. And my wonderful CP had brought up an idea with me. And when they brought up that idea, I was like, oh, that could be interesting. That could be interesting. And so that perked me up and gave me hope. And so now I'm going to be rewriting the entire book. Why am I rewriting the entire book? So the setting is going to change. The entire thrust of the novel in that way is going to change because they go on this yoga retreat, and they're still going to go on a retreat, but it's not going to be in Thailand. I think that was also a big issue for me. I have been to Thailand precisely once, and I think I was relying a lot on that setting, and it just wasn't really working out well. So now it's going to be set somewhere else, which I'm also not really familiar with, and I honestly haven't been, but it's a lot more focused on where they're staying in like a cabin setting than the outside setting. So it could like kind of be anywhere, which I think will help. And I'm really focusing in, because a problem that I also had with the book while I was writing it was that I had too many characters. And it was like too much to juggle, and so I was getting service level of everyone. Now I've really narrowed down the amount of characters, and I've narrowed down the focus. So my plan is I'm going to take this whole week, I'm going to be spending replotting and writing a long form synopsis like I should have done from the start. So I'm gonna be doing that, and then I'm going to be doing what I'm calling a slow rewrite. So I'm going to be working on one chapter each day. So I've never done something like this because I've never had to do a rewrite this extensive. Essentially, the first act I can keep and tweak, but everything else has to go. Everything else is trash. Everything else is not useful to me. Everything else needs to go straight out the window and into the garbage. So that's why I'm not even, because before I was like, oh, I'm gonna reread the book. I'm not even gonna bother rereading the book because everything is going. So taking that time to plot, and then the slow reread. So the slow reread, gonna work on one chapter per day, gonna write it, gonna go back and immediately edit it, which is something I've never done. I've always done my first drafts all the way through. I've never written a chapter and then gone back and immediately edited it, done edits on it. I've never done that, but I'm gonna do this now because I want to focus really hard on every single chapter that I'm doing. And I need to do it slower because I need to have more time to realize if I'm fucking up. Essentially, I need the time to realize if I'm shitting the bed again so that I don't do it all the way through and then only realize at the end what has happened. So that's the very long, not at all short of it, because this is almost 10 minutes already. But that's what this entire vlog is gonna be, or these vlogs, because it's not just gonna be one. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do them every week or every other week. I'm leaning towards every other week. And I'll just share my progress with you doing this plotting, doing this slow rewrite, which is something I've never done. But I really need to get this book to a point where this is something that I can be proud of, because I can't even send the first act to anyone. I can't send any of this to anyone. It's complete garbage, and I know it's complete garbage. I feel like full shame. I could never show this to anyone, but I'm feeling really hopeful about the plans that I have for this book going forward. I took a week and a bit off writing completely, and I've been spending that whole time thinking about this stuff and marinating on it, but I'm really hoping that this go around I can get this book write. So yeah, look forward to this journey.
It's kinda crazy, the kinds of things life throws at you. I never knew I'd feel so safe in your arms. Now you're all I need. It wasn't long before I knew that I fell for you and you had my heart. As fast as the seasons changed, my heart was stolen. Parts of me that were broken found love. And no amount of distance can change how I'm feeling, 'cause I know this is real. I'm so happy that you're
We're doing a standing update. So today's Thursday. Yesterday I did fuck all. I just like woke up late in the morning, and then I was working on editing a video, and then I was doing that, like I was editing 2 videos technically, and so then I was doing that all morning, and then I took a break, and then by the time I finished the break it was like 2 or 3, and I just didn't want to, so I finished my cardigan that you'll have seen in the little b-roll beforehand, and I just decided to take the day off writing, which of course meant that I had to plan all of my chapters in one day, which I did. So I like forced myself out of bed at 9 and I sat down on my computer, and I've been working basically nonstop all day. It's like almost 4 o'clock now, so I literally worked a full work day for once. I did take a break for lunch, but yeah, so I've been working all day on planning those chapters. I've got them all planned out now, and I think this is a much better version of this book. We'll see once I actually get into writing the synopsis, because that's when I'll really be able to eke out kind of what's really falling apart and what's not quite working and what is. But I just think this will be a better version of this. It's a lot more focused on the dread and the tension, which is what I wanted from the beginning. And when I plotted that other one, it was kind of harder to feel it, and now I feel like it's like much more prominent, which is what I wanted. And so I'm pleased about that. So yeah, I think that's gonna be pretty good. And yeah, so now I've got all that plotted, and what I gotta do is I gotta do my synopsis. I also have to fix the chapter numbers because I cut things and move stuff around, and so now I have less chapter numbers, so I also have to fix that. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I actually have 2 days to do this synopsis, because when I made my plans, I totally blanked on the fact that on Sunday it's Montreal YA Fest, and I'm gonna be on 3 panels, and so I'll be busy all day, and like working in between the times I know just like won't work for me. So it's better if I get the synopsis done by the end of the day on Saturday, and then I don't have anything on Sunday, and it'll just kind of be like a day off, but not really a day off because I'm gonna be doing panels and stuff, but a day off from writing. And then on Monday I'll go ahead and get started doing the actual slow revision. So I'm happy that I got all the chapters planned today. I'm actually very shocked that I did that, because even though I sat down with that intention today. I didn't actually think I would get that done today because planning out all the chapters is like a lot of work because I'm very meticulously planning them. Like, to give you an idea, this whole chapter summary thing is almost 7,000 words. So it's a lot of meticulous planning, and then when I go and write the synopsis, that's going to be even more meticulous, so it's going to probably be like 10,000 words. So I'm essentially going to write 10,000 words in 2 days. But I've done it in 1 day before with like drafting, and that's way harder because synopses I can write a lot faster because I'm just verbatim telling the story exactly as it happens. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, and then that's really it for the day. I'm gonna get that done, and then I wanted a snack, so I might go to Shoppers and get a snack, and yeah, that's it for this update.
Nothing in this world can make me feel the way that you do. Feels like I'm dancing on moonlight. Of all the stars at night, none of them can shine as bright as you do. They can't compare to your light. Thousands of miles between, still couldn't stop us. Just the thought of your love was enough.
This is my second take because I forget things that I've done. Anyway, I just finished filming a podcast episode for the Everything is Canon podcast run by Steve Dunk. I'll link the podcast below if you want to check out the episodes. I'm not sure when mine will be up, but it'll be later on and probably after this vlog comes out. But I will post about it on social media when it's out. But I always like talking to people who have read the book because then we can like deep dive into more things, which is really exciting. So I'm really happy about that. So yeah, I've what am I doing? Right. So today I'm supposed to be writing half of the synopsis, right? Write half of the synopsis today and half the synopsis tomorrow because that would be normal. But I can already feel within myself a desire to do very little. I have a video that I have to caption that's going to be coming out in June. So I'm going to work on captioning that, but I probably won't do the synopsis today. Probably what I will do is tomorrow I will wake up at like 8:30 and I will just write the whole day until I'm done the synopsis. Is that good / healthy? Potentially not. But I feel zero interest in doing work today, and I just feel that within myself, and I just know I'm not going to do it. So yeah, this week in which I was supposed to be steadily working on stuff, I just keep skipping days and then like doing a bunch of work in one day. So that's what I'm gonna do. So tomorrow, which is Saturday, I'm just gonna bang out the whole dang synopsis in one go, and then I'll have Sunday to ponder deeply on my choices. I'm gonna be at Montreal YA Fest, and then I guess on Monday I'll start the slow rewrite. But yeah, I just like can feel myself having the desire to do nothing. I really want to rewatch The Covenant. I've been like very obsessed. I saw a GIF or like a TikTok with Sebastian Stan in it, and I forgot Sebastian Stan was in The Covenant, and now I just want to rewatch it. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. Low-key, I wonder if I should buy it so I can rewatch it whenever, but we'll see. Were mistakes made? Yes. It is truly gigantic. Truly. But I feel like I'll just we'll just roll that up, maybe. We'll just roll that up. I truly don't even know what I'm gonna do with this. Maybe I'll let Bobo continue to use it as her own personal blanket. But I finished, so I did that.
It's hard to imagine life without you in it, even if
I'm up bright and early. It's 9 in the morning, so yeah, gotta do this entire synopsis today. We'll see what the actual word count will be. I'm not too preoccupied about it. It might not actually be 10,000 words like my others are, because this word count is so much shorter. So we'll see, but I gotta get it done today because tomorrow I'm busy. So let's go.
distance, I'm still happy. Baby, won't you listen when you feel you're missing me? Let this be a little lullaby, help you fall asleep at night.
Quick update, it is 11:17. I have made it to up to chapter 12, like synopsis wise, up to chapter 12 of 28. I have 4,658 words, and I'm not halfway. So I guess it is gonna be at least 10,000 words. So yeah, I am at that point right now. I am hungry, but also have to go pick up my groceries. We do the pickup thing to avoid contact, so I gotta do that, and I figured I may as well go check my PO box while I'm in the process of doing that anyway. So I'm gonna go do that quick, and then when I get back I'll probably eat and then yeah, and then go from there.
It's kinda crazy, the kinds of things life throws at you.
Hello. So it's 5 o'clock. I've been writing for a full work day. I did take a 2-hour lunch. Lunch / procrastination / pick up groceries break. I am at 10,460 words and I'm not done. Part of me is like, why did we make this choice? Why did we decide to do this? Why have we chosen to suffer in this way? But then I think of myself yesterday where I took the day off. I was relaxing. I was having a good time. I did a Sims version of our basement so I could show my boyfriend how I want the basement remodel to look. I talked on the phone to my mom. I watched The Covenant. I was just having a grand old time yesterday so that I could suffer like this today. But anyway, it's fine. It's going. It's just, it's a lot to do in one day. But it's going. It's happening. And yeah, so I'm not done. And yeah, I guess I'll keep going. I'm at Dark Night of the Soul now. I'm at night 5. So if you didn't know, the title of this horror is 6 Days and 5 Nights. So I'm at the 5th night, and there's only one day to go after that, and then the like denouement bit. So not too long to go. Almost there, almost done.
I never knew I'd feel so safe in your arms. Now you're all I need. It wasn't long before I knew that I fell for you and you had my heart. As fast as the seasons
Hello, we are at the end of the vlog. I'm right in the midst of Montreal YA Fest. I actually have another panel in like 5-ish minutes, but I figured I may as well use this time to update you on what happened yesterday and close out the vlog. But yeah, so while I'm like made up and nice. So it's Sunday. Yesterday, I wrote the entire synopsis from beginning to end. It was about 12,000 words, so I wrote 12,000 words in a day. It was horrific. I would never do that to myself again. It was just like I was writing from like 9 in the morning until 6:30 at night with a very small amount of breaks. So I wouldn't do that again in the future. I would definitely try and give myself the couple days to work on my synopsis, but it just ended up being how it was because I was lazy, and you watched the vlog, so you know. But I got the synopsis done, and I'm very happy about that. And I've really, in this process, I've learned that this is my process. I do my save the cat stuff, I write out what my chapters are going to be, and then I write a full synopsis so that I can work everything out. And I skipped writing the synopsis. I won't do that again. I like have to like slap myself on the wrist for this because this time I wrote that whole synopsis, and there were things I worked out in the synopsis. I was like, oh, this should be mentioned here, and like this should be mentioned here, and like I kind of think it would be cool if we had this reveal and that sort of thing. So I'm very excited about this version of the horror. Like, all the shout out to my amazing critique partner Just Created, because I was gonna full on give up on this book, and them talking it through with me is the only reason I regained hope in this book and that I ended up writing this. So Jess, if this book ends up getting published, you get the dedication because it wouldn't have otherwise happened. I was ready to just full on drop this book like nothing. So I'm really excited about where it's going. It's just the things that I wanted. I wanted that tension, that isolation tension between the two characters, and I have that now because I found a way to force them together. I wanted that isolation and that fear and that dread, and I have that now. And I wanted the nuance of the discussions of workplace toxicity, and I feel like that comes out properly now. And naturally, the twists have come, and so it's kind of funny because I was pitching this as One by One by Ruth Ware meets Jordan Peele's Us. That doesn't work anymore with the way that things have gone. I wouldn't use those comps anymore. And I went through this whole thing where I was like, it's a horror thriller, and then I was like, no, just horror. And now I'm like, yeah, this could also be pitched as a thriller. So I've just gone right back. I will say it is like, to me it's a horror, but I think if this sold, it would be also pitched as like a thriller, because now it has those elements, because things like twists, those sorts of things that I was struggling during NaNoWriMo to like shoehorn in, that usually I was like, usually these come so naturally to me. Now they've come more naturally to me, and I'm like, see, Liselle, it's because you tried to skip a step in the process that you finally got that helps you write books. You finally figured it out, and then you decided that you could like skip steps because why? So I have learned a lesson for sure. And I've accepted very much that this is my process. So I'm reinvigorated. I'm excited for the book. I'm excited to work on it. I am still going to do the slow rewrite format so that I can like monitor myself as I'm doing it, and also because I think it'll be easier to juggle debut month and like also having to do edits on my sequel if I'm doing it in that slow rewrite format. So that is my plan going forward. So now the end of this week, everything is plotted. I have the synopsis, I'm ready to go. And next week I'm going to be starting the slow rewrite. This was a 1 week long vlog. I think when I'm doing the slow rewrite, I'll do like 2 week long vlogs. But yeah, with a pause for debut week. I don't know how that's gonna work, but anyway, so yeah, that's the whole vlog. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Comment whatever you feel like commenting. I can't really think of a particular prompt. Yeah, so comment whichever. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Oh, and if you joined at Montreal YA Fest, thank you so much for coming. I'm having a great time, and I'm loving watching the panels also, and I still have 2 more that I'm in today that I'm going to be doing, so that's happening. By the time you see this, it'll already be open. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye!
My heart was stolen, parts of me